If you are new to the Be Your Own Kind brand, welcome. If you like what you hear and see, please subscribe to the Be Your Own Kind YouTube channel. And if you're listening to the podcast, please follow me. Also in the description box, you can find my Linktree link to all Be Your Own Kind related matters, such as the BYOK merch, where we sell items from t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and mugs. Also, you will find our website and the links to my social media pages. Also, we are always looking to collaborate with others, such as business owners, vloggers, bloggers, or just if you simply want to share your story. Last but not least, if you are looking to promote your business, Be Your Own Kind will gladly promote you. If you are interested in details, please email me at info@beyourownkind.com. Thank you for tuning in and for supporting the Be Your Own Kind platform. Hey lovelies, I want to first wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. What are your plans? My plans are enjoying a lot of quality time with the hubby and virtual time with family and of course eating. We all know that 2020 has presented so many challenges. Business owners as myself have had to rebrand or find creative ways to keep things going. Some businesses have adapted and some they have no clue how to maneuver. For those feeling stuck in their business plan, Demetria has joined us today to give us tips about keeping the momentum and persevering even when you lack support. If you've been following the Be Your Own Kind brand, you have learned that we have partnered with Demetria Brown from the Blueprint Media Company. The Blueprint Media platform helps businesses and local artists to better market and promote their brands. She also has a podcast entitled Corporate Chronicles, and she hosts the Blueprint Live show every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube at 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to check out more about Demetria and the Blueprint Media Company. All links can be found in the description box below. Now let's get into it. So hi, thank you Demetria for being on the Be Your Own Kind platform today. How are you?
Hey girl, I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh man, no, it's an honor. It's an honor. I'm glad that we finally got to collaborate. I'm super excited about it.
It's been definitely in the works.
Yes, most definitely. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, everyone, I am Miss Michi. I am a media personality, content creator. I'm the owner of Lavish Looks by Miss Michi, where I have my exclusive sunglasses collection. And I'm also the CEO of the Blueprint Media Company, where it is home to my show, The Blueprint Live, Corporate Chronicles, as well as Miss Michi One-on-One. I partner with businesses and up-and-coming entrepreneurs to help them to better promote themselves. So, I'm that person that's taking a look at everything and seeing what you can do to really propel yourself a lot higher than you could imagine. So that's a little bit about me.
Nice. That's dope. And I see that you dedicate yourself for helping people, as such as myself, and you generally enjoy it. Like it's not a job to you. It's not like, yeah, I need you to move that widget over there. It's kind of like, hey, I see your vision. This is how we can get everyone else to see your vision. So I love your enthusiastic approach, when you're consulting. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, my whole thing is that it really was something that I wanted to make a mission as far as with my business, because I did have people that poured into me when I first, really transitioned from doing event planning. That was what I was doing initially, and I went into media. I definitely had people that assisted me along the way and that helped me. So I said, you know what, I need to be able to also pass along the things that I've learned and what I'm learning along the way to help build someone else up as well.
That's dope. I love that. So I did a little digging.
Ooh, what did you find?
So I checked out your website, and it mentioned at one point that you were in radio. So how did that experience lead you to create your platform?
Well, I started off on Support District Radio, so shout out to my family. They are still, we are like this, even though I've kind of branched out from that point. It's funny how I kind of like went into radio. Like I actually went on Urban Broadcast Media as a guest. And then on DL Bank show for Scene Chicago. And then, I loved it. Like I had always thought that I could do it. I'm like, I got a nice voice, but I never really pursued it like that. So after that opportunity, we were given a chance to have our own show, myself and the other two co-hosts. And it was, unfortunately a little bit short-lived because everyone's business started to really take off at its own time. Mm-hmm. So I then ended up meeting the gentleman that was the CEO at Support District Radio at the time. And I wanted to further my platform as far as the Blueprint Events company. So that's when I started the Blueprint Radio. And it was really to just zero in and showcase and highlight people from our area, entrepreneurs, artists, anyone that was doing something of significance in the city. I wanted to have them on my show. So that was really how I kind of got started as far as that's concerned. And it took off. it took off in a way that I couldn't even have imagined.
Nice. And that's always good to have a vision and it just fly off, so.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it organically happened.
It wasn't a forced thing. It wasn't like, oh, you need to do this. Like it definitely wasn't forced. It felt so natural. The opportunities and the people that I met along the way, we flowed together, and we're able to really make things happen. So it's been a blessing for sure.
Yes, definitely. So out of all your projects, from being a brand ambassador, Blueprint Media, Chicago Media Conglomerate, it seemed like the main goals are to help others, like we talked about earlier, expand networks. So in your interview with Voyage LA, you mentioned your largest shock was not receiving the support from those closest to you. Do you think this epiphany drove you to your goal of helping others?
Oh, you know what? My goal for helping others, that was always there. Even when I wasn't really getting the support with my brand, it was always something that was constant for me, because what I've learned over time, even before becoming a business owner for myself, was that being a blessing to others will ultimately lead to the blessings overflowing in your life. So I've always been a helper. I've always been the one that's taking care of everything. I mean, it's no secret. I have my podcast, Corporate Chronicles, where I talk about my life still having a corporate job. I do, I'm attendant services coordinator at a high rise in the downtown Chicago area. So I am used to being that person that's pushing everybody else, coordinating things, and really highlighting what should be taken care of at that time. So it was very easy to do that in my own business, and to help others. Like when people didn't support me, I was just like, you know what? Well, I'm still gonna keep doing this because that's my calling. That's my destiny.
Right. So even though it was a little disheartening at first that those closest to you weren't supporting you, that wasn't the catalyst for you helping others. It was
helping others was always that was always at the forefront. I mean, the people that don't support or that didn't support then, it's unfortunate. You and I have talked about it where, it's just like, well, that's kind of sad that you don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, like, I always zero in on my goal. Like, I've been telling everyone, I'm like, my goal is for 2021 and beyond, I will have a larger media entity paying me for my content. Mm-hmm. And that's still the goal. So it's just like, whether if they support me or not, I'm like, I still have a goal in mind that I have to reach, whether if you jumping on board or not.
Exactly. Because the focus is your goal, not everybody's thoughts about your goal.
Absolutely. I'm just like, look, if that's how you want to be or you want to operate. And it was Renita. I mean, honestly, I don't think that we talk about it enough, those unsupported friends and family members, how that can be a deterrent for someone very early on in the process. So that's why it's like, whoever I'm working with, I'm always, if I can see that maybe they're not as confident as far as what they're doing, we have to start there first, because it's like, you have to be confident about what it is that you're doing, despite of what anyone's going to say. Because this is the thing, if you're doing something good or bad, somebody's not going to like it. That's just the reality of the situation. Right. So, I always try to start with anyone that I'm working with or that I'm mentoring. I'm like, hey, No, you're the bomb.com. And what it is that you're trying to do, you're going to get there regardless of who is behind you or not. You have to do it for you.
Right. Yeah, because once you have that confidence in you, it doesn't really matter what other people think. Like, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
And I know people that go against the grain and everyone's like, how are you going to do that? And then they don't care. They're tunnel vision, like tunnel focus.
Yeah, and you have to be. It's just like, I mean, I had so many people. I mean, I think of, I've always been like a little advanced as far as the things that I've wanted to do in my life. Like, I was one of the first ones out of my friends to like buy a home and do everything, because I just recognize the bigger picture with a lot of things. And you know, most of my entrepreneur friends, including you, we see that there's a bigger vision at hand and that there's work to be done in order to get there. Right. So, you know, when you are kind of, you know, talking to your friends or family, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I have struggled with, how can you, are you really a friend if you don't support what it is that I'm doing? Like, I'm not out here selling bricks or doing anything. Like, I have a legitimate business and I'm trying to reach my goal. So, you know, it's definitely a lot into it, but you have to be laser focused on what it is that you're doing.
You're right. And that's an interesting question about measuring friendship with support. I've read somewhere, and it was a different perspective, where the author said that it is not that the people don't support you, they don't understand what you're doing. It's not that they don't love you, they just don't understand what you're doing and your vision. And some of that is fear that you might, fear that you may be sad if you don't make it. But my thing is, what if I do? What about the thought of what if I do, and how your support can catapult me and encourage me, instead of me, I find that people I don't even know, like off the internet, sending me messages like, oh my God, thank you, and this and that. So I've learned over time to just appreciate that, anyone who's noticing, because people are watching you whether they say it or not. Everyone's watching.
They definitely are, Renita. And I mean, it is amazing that, like, when I think about when I first started on my journey, the people that I was looking to for support versus the people that supported me without me having to even ask. It was a lot, so I appreciate it. Like, now I shifted from when I was first starting off in business to kind of being a little sad and disappointed in those people that didn't really express an interest, or just, they just didn't give a damn. Let's be completely honest. To my tribe that I have now, like I said, you included, Renita and I, we've been able to just, really open up and have some conversations just on our own to really uplift each other. And my tribe that I have now, it is solid. And I'm thankful for that. It might not be an abundance of people like what I was looking to before when I started business. You have all these people around you, but it's just like, when you are pursuing something and you are dead set on it, you'll really, really see who's for you. And it's like, now it's not even a focus. I'm like, look, I'm going to put up my content. You either going to like it or you're not. You going to scroll past, or you going to stop and you going to engage. But at the end, I'm doing this because the goal at hand is still the goal at hand, whether if you click on it, share it or not.
Right.
That's just what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, that's a good mindset, because I know at first I was like, well, am I making any sense? Am I making any difference? Like, am I just garbage? Because if people in my own circle are not contacting me or giving me some feedback, like, like, am I garbage? It messes with your head. That's why I like what you said, the change of perspective of you being confident in your goal and what you want to do, where it doesn't matter what others think. Because if this is something that you feel will help others, you're gonna touch someone. Even if it's one person, that's one person you touch, versus not going forth in what you feel is your purpose.
Correct. You have to, the confidence in what you're doing is first. We, as entrepreneurs, we talk about having the knowledge and the things that you need to move forward and everything. But that confidence is a big thing, because granted, when you first start something, like, I know when I first launched Lavish Looks, I tell everybody, that was my COVID business. That was my COVID baby that I was nurturing at the time. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, I hadn't been into e-commerce, or done anything. I was more of a service-based type of business in the beginning. So hopping into that, you also have to I'm trying to word it correctly, Renita. You have to be able to know who you can go to for sound advice and sound feedback. So versus like some of my friends or people that I know that, maybe may not be interested in business like that. They like, look, girl, I go to work, I go on vacation, I do what I need to do. Right. I may not go and ask them about how I can pivot in my business. I may call you. I may call, my friend Whitney from Luar Girl, or Dr. Lauren from Melanated Queen Productions, or, Dr. Shaniqua. There are people that I have in my tribe right now where I can say, look, I run into a little bit of an obstacle here. What do you think that I can do to maneuver that? And it's not a diss towards the people that are not in that lane, but you have to know who you can talk to and who you can get sound advice from to move forward. Because let's be honest, I'm not going to ask you for advice on something that you're not familiar with. Right. I'm doing myself a disservice, and then honestly kind of messing with my expectations at that point, because how can you advise me if you haven't done that? Exactly. Yeah. So you're outside looking in. You don't even know the expertise. And it's no offense. I mean, it's some girls that I'll call. I'm like, hey, what shade am I in MAC? Because I need to know what foundation I need to get. But I can't say that I will call them and be like, you know what? I'm thinking about adding a new service to my business. What do you think about that? You have to know who you can call. Right. In those times in business. Right. So I know you wanted to touch upon motivating others during this crazy year, this insane year. So firstly, I just want to ask you, how have you been staying motivated during this year? Oh, I mean, well, people don't know. Let me see if I can find it here. So this is my planner that I have, my handy dandy one. I love it. And I also have I have a book that I've written down like all of my goals, and I write down what I need to do in order to reach the goal, right? Mm-hmm. So how I stay motivated is just continuing. Like, I'm a big to-do list type of person. Like, I'm like this. I got 5 things to do. I got to accomplish it today. I'm that type of person. So for me to stay motivated, I look at my goals, what it is that I need to do, and how far I've kind of moved up the ladder as far as that's concerned. I'm like, for me, it'll stay in my mind until it's completed. I mean, and it's a little bit different. Like, everybody isn't as driven. And I recognize that, like, even with some of the people that I've worked with or that I've helped along the way, I'm just like, get to it. Get it together. I mean, it's just honestly just like really just keeping the goal at the forefront. I mean, I believe that I can be on E. I can be one of the people on VH1. I can do some of the stuff, like the things that I'm interested in as far as media and television and radio. I could totally do that. So it's just like keeping the goal at the top of my head, and then just making sure that I'm putting the work in. That's really how I stay on top of things. Oh, wow, you are an anomaly. Because I know some people, they were like that. Then the pandemic kind of just knocked them off their square. And they're just like, now what? What am I supposed to do? Renita, that almost happened to me. I mean, so when everything was going on, when it first unfolded, I'm like, I was still having to work. I was at another company. I left them because they were trash. Okay. I had to chuck them to deuces. But when I was there, I was a little bit worried about things. And then it went from like the governor announced a stay-at-home order to 2 weeks later, okay, sis, you're out of a job. And they wanted us to like be masked up at the studios and everything. And that was really the real pivot. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm like, I need for my show, I need for the Blueprint Radio to still have the same flow. So, again, about having those people in your corner, my husband, I was just like, babe, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can't have the guests on. I can't highlight them like that. What can I do? And at the time, my studio that I'm in now was actually next door, because this is my home studio, and it was in my smaller room, and I did Quarantine and Chill. That was, I switched it from the Blueprint Radio, and it was like the Blueprint Radio presents Quarantine and Chill. And Renita, that was when things for real took off for the show, because it was like I had everybody's attention. Everybody was at the house. So versus me stopping, and saying, you know, I'm gonna take a break. It's a pandemic. You know, I was like, you know what? No, let me jump in. This is the time to capitalize and engage more people that I may not have been able to reach because they were at work, they were busy, they were out doing things. So it's like you got to move with the times, you know. And now a lot of people, what are they doing? They're setting up shop at their home. But I'm just like, you know what? I was happy that I was able to do it when I guess everybody was still trying to figure out stuff.
Right, because everything's virtual now.
Everything.
Now you can pay for virtual events. Like even I think Zoom is allowing people to receive money for their Zoom events and stuff like that. Yeah. So everybody's just catching on. I think Zoom announced that maybe a month ago, and I'm like, now? I'm like, well, it seemed like y'all would have. Well,
you've been doing this was like April, May. What?
Right. I'm like, you behind Zoom?
Catch up.
Right. So, well, I feel like we've already covered this, but I'll ask it anyway because you may have more to add. But with all the fairly new opportunities presented to entrepreneurs during the pandemic, which we just spoke on, what are some tips that you can give to entrepreneurs to help them not sabotage their progress pre-pandemic era? Don't
stop. That is the one thing that I see with, you know, some fellow entrepreneurs. They'll be going super hard, everything, boom, in your face, and then nothing. That is the worst thing that you can do to yourself in business, is to keep stopping and having to start over again and having to reintroduce people. People like consistency. You know, so be consistent. My phrase and my mantra that I use, and anyone that knows me knows that this is true. You have to be consistent and diligent in your practices if you want to win. Number one. My other mantra that I go by is allow yourself to have a moment, an episode, or a season. Just don't stay there. Okay. So yes, there have been people that have lost their jobs. They are wondering, how am I going to eat? How am I going to pay my bills? And everyone understands that. So allow yourself to take a moment to gather yourself and get things back in order, but don't stop your, you know, with your goals and what you have in mind. Another thing, as far as like for my creatives and stuff, if you find yourself getting to a space where you're just like, what am I going to talk about this week? You still have material that you can use and monopolize on. You know, I mean, like for me, I'm going to be taking vacation, of course, this week. I'm going to take vacation for the week of Christmas and for the week of New Year's, you know, just because I'm like, hell, I've been working hard. I need this time, but I have enough material that I'm going to use. You think I'm not going to throw those watch parties up there? I have material already. So I don't have to stress about, oh, I need to be here, I need to record, I need to do this, because I already have material, and I'm pretty sure that you do too. Do a throwback Thursday, a flashback Friday, whatever it is that you need to do to keep eyes on your business. That would be the biggest piece of advice that I could offer.
That makes a lot of sense. My I don't know if you remember this from Andre 3000, Prototype, or was it? I don't know what song it was, but it was on his album, and he was like, I can't afford not to record. So anytime that I'm like, oh, I don't feel well, life, whatever, in my head, I hear him say, I can't afford not to record. So I say that a lot to myself, like, I gotta keep going.
That is for real. It's just like, no, like I done came this far. It be some weeks, I'm not gonna lie, because I still work a 9 to 5. I have responsibilities, and you know, but I'm just like, you know what? Because at the end of the day, like I said, when you keep that goal in mind, I'm like, I need this material for my reel to send out to these people. So I'm like, you know what? I can't afford to take too much time off. You got to stay on it. Right.
And that is one of the lessons you taught me.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to push you. At the end of the day, you still have a goal that you're trying to reach. See, people, don't tell me your goal. Don't tell me your goal if you really not trying to reach it. And I let people know, I'm just like, you know what? If you really are not trying to do this, I'm probably the wrong person that you want to tell, because I'm going to push you. And every time I talk to you, I'm going to be like, oh, I haven't seen X, Y, and Z. What's going on with that?
Right.
And I'm very serious about it, because it's just like, you have it in you to do it. You just have to do it. That's it.
Right. Nothing but to do it. You know, Nike say just do it. I'm like, why they always say that? Then I get older and I'm like, Yeah, just apply
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even the girl. Before we even got on here, I was just like, I have to get up and get myself together. And then it was like, and then sometimes, you know, you have to watch how you also talk to yourself. I think I'd be a little aggressive with myself. I'd be like, get up, put your clothes on, get it together. You know, so slap a little something on here, get you a little gloss, and go and conquer your day. You know, it's hard. It's definitely difficult.
It is, and it seemed like the sleep is so great when you got to get up and do something. Like it's the best sleep.
I was texting you. I'm like, hey, are we still on? I'm like, okay, great. And then I was
dressed.
at myself like, okay, you better get up now.
I just got up, took a shower, and got dressed. I've been dressed way before I needed to be.
You better than me. I'm like, look, I'm giving you the best that I got at this point.
So, Be Your Own Kind has a staple question for all of our guests on our podcast. And so that question is, if you can describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
Determined. I'm not going to stop until I reach my goal. You'll see me somewhere. You'll see me or hear me, my brand, what I have going on. And I'm not going to stop until I get there. I don't care if I'm pushing 40 and it's like, oh, she finally made it. I'm not going to stop. I'm very, very persistent as far as that's concerned. And I believe that what it is that I do, it brings value to my community and to the people that I serve. So I would say that would be the word.
Nice. I'm excited for your future because I believe you. People say things and you be like, but some people say things and you be like, yeah.
And for me, I have to make it. I have, I'm thankful for even our partnership. I mean, the Blueprint Media Company is partnered with Be Your Own Kind. And, for me, I it's not just about me making it. I have sponsors, I have affiliates, I have partnerships and people that I work with very closely that also deserve to be in certain rooms. And I'm not one of those people where it's like, oh yeah, I made it. All right, bye y'all. See y'all later. Okay, I got to run now. No, I'm that person where I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, so thank you all so much for bringing me to the table. So, I also have some different people that I work with. So, it's like, if they're like, hey, we need, a video clip for this, I'm coming to you. Or we need you to have a business consultant, I'm going to my sponsor, Ask Blue Jay. Or, hey, we're going to have some makeup on set. You think I'm not bringing Pouty Girl and Noir Girl? It's not just about me. Right. It's not about me. So it's like, I have to win because I have a nice list of people that is just like, they've been rooting for me along the way. So they also deserve to win as well.
I love that. Iron sharpens iron. It's not a competition, it's a marathon. It's just enough out here for all of us.
For everybody. And I am that friend that's going to mention you in a room full of opportunities if you are not there. Because somebody did it for me too. And it's very, very important. It's very important to, if your friend not there, that they asking for something that your people does and you don't mention them, shame on you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. That goes back to, are we really friends?
Absolutely.
Your friends should want you to win.
Yeah, girl.
Support is not always monetary. It's not just something as simple as that. A shout out, a mentioning, a sharing a video, word of mouth. It's more than people always thinking money. Well, I ain't got the money for that, but there are other ways you can support.
Or it's just speaking positively. Like I had an experience, and I won't go too deep into it, but when I was still doing event planning, I can't even say a friend of a friend because unfortunately they've been downgraded. You got to do the necessary downgrades and upgrades in your life as well and in business. So with this particular situation, this young lady was getting married and she was a friend to a former friend. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, I was like, I offer these services. I'd love to be of service to you and, your hubby. And before I could even send anything else, she's just like, yeah, I talked to the former friend and, she said that I should probably go with someone that had more experience. And I was like, ooh, what a way to shoot an opportunity in the foot for someone that's supposed to be cool with you. But it was like, I just took it and I'm like, it was like at that point, it was still a little early on as far as everything, and then unfortunately things started going a little crazy as far as with the wedding and all that other stuff. And the friend that had basically kind of talked down about what I had going on was
Yeah.
trying to come to me for some advice and things of that sort, because she was actually in the wedding. And I'm just like, and still, I never even brought it up as far as like that this person said it to me, because some things you just have to keep those as little treasures for yourself. But, it's like if you're that friend, oh, it's like what, it's kind of messed up, but it's just, I use it as more fuel. So it's like by the time that she came to me and was like, oh, what do you think about this? I had done fashion shows. I had done an award show. I had worked with Dr. Lauren for the Melanated Queen, the Melanated Queen Awards, and just a lot of different things within the community. So I was more than experienced and able to help. But sometimes you just gotta let people just figure it out on their own.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's, like I said, you got to share it. I'm that entrepreneur. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and be like, yeah, quit your job, do all this other stuff, and all your friends supposed to support you. No, I'm a realist at the end of the day. So there are going to be some people that's not going to be for you. You might not be able to quit your job today to pursue your business full time,
Right.
but do what needs to be done to make it happen. Because if you know that that's a goal that you want to achieve, do the work.
Point blank. Period.
Period.
Well, there's anything else that you would like to add?
You all can advertise with the Blueprint Media Company. Visit thebpmediaco.com. I'm all about promoting, us. And it's not, you're going to see that I'm tied to a lot of Black businesses. And that's, I'm open to all businesses, but of course, I'm here I want to promote us. I want to see us win too. And it's not a knock against anybody else, but I believe that we should all have the exposure and the opportunities for growth just as any other business.
Yeah, I agree. And I thank you for your contribution to our community and to the Be Your Own Kind personally, because I am super excited about our partnership. I feel like I've worked harder than I ever did before.
I've been putting Renita to work. I'm like, work. Well, no, because this is the thing, Renita, what you're doing, it's great, just your visuals, the content that you have to bring, and what you have to offer to anyone that tunes in or that follows your pages, or just keeps up with you. You have a lot that you can offer, and I'm gonna always be that person that's like, nope, you gotta keep going, girl, keep doing it. And we have to continue to uplift each other, and I'm thankful to have you a part of my tribe. That means everything to me.
Thank you for having me. I'm super I'm honored, and I'm also excited that you were able to be a part of the podcast today, to be a guest on our podcast.
Yes.
And just look forward to Miss Michi, and just look at her, follow her. I'm gonna have all her credentials in the description box, and they're across the screen as you've been watching. And I want you to follow her and watch her vision come to light, because I'm super excited for your future. Thank you again for being on the podcast, and until next time, everyone, don't forget to be your own kind and to be kind to yourself.